Cup of tea time.
All the best, guys. Come on.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Block 9 Podcast Live Lounge.
He's there.
You're here, Gav.
I'm only joking. I'm not frozen, really. I just thought I'd give the guys a bit of a rise there because obviously this is good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Block 9 Podcast. You know, when you're at school and the supply teacher comes, I'm the supply teacher. The teacher's on holiday, so we've been absolutely horrific so far. So good evening, everybody who's just joined us. There's a choice comment earlier in the podcast about Andy, which Carl did. So's about that. It literally is end of term today, and we've been throwing aeroplanes and chalk since the first registration bell. So,
celebration of life going away. That's what it is.
Smooth as sandpaper.
What did you expect? I mean, come on.
I know, and it's good to see you, Voodoo. Good evening, everybody, and I suppose I better say good evening to the people I've been talking to for the last hour about how to work this crazy machine. John, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. I'm all right, mate. Apart from that last little hiccup at the end with the comment, we're all trying to learn how to do things, and I thought that would be funny, and it's backfired. So never mind. All part of the learning curve. But yeah, I'm good, mate.
Wonderful news. Andy, how's the chocolate cake?
The chocolate cake was nice, mate. The comment was a bit rude, I think. I don't know whether I should continue with this live or not tonight, but actually, Mike, you got a really good makeover. The surgery was good. It was positive.
Yeah, face for radio still. Herbs, good evening. How are you?
Evening. Yeah, I'm all good. I'm excited for Saturday, actually, which is good after a QPR win. So I'm actually excited for a game, which is quite weird. But yeah, it should be a good one Saturday.
Good. And you've still got the Ori Akili curtains to your left tonight, not your right, unless have you changed round?
Yeah, I've changed round. I thought, we've actually started winning, so I might, change something. So
good. Change is good as a rest, as they say. Okay, right. Well, so we're here now. It's 8:33. So as you've probably noticed, I'm not the crazy pilgrim. He's away sunning himself in the Bahamas or wherever he's. Where did he go?
Come on.
Where did he go?
He's plane spotting. Come on.
He's plane spotting. Yeah, you haven't left the airport yet.
All the planes going over.
He's spent 3 days so far in Bristol Airport going, there's another one. There's another one. I've seen some photographs. He is somewhere, the Bahamas or somewhere. So he's having a well-earned rest. So unfortunately, you've got the reprobates running the show tonight, as you've probably already guessed. So get your comments coming in. It'd be nice. It's been a mixed week with a interesting result on Saturday, but a very positive one on Tuesday night for those that were in the 10,885 that came through the door. Evening, Steve. We had a 2-0 down. Everyone at halftime thought, here we go again. And then we miraculously won 3-2. So we'll come on to that a bit later. And we're all got mild optimism about Saturday away at Lincoln, which is, again, another interesting emotion to have, having some optimism about watching Argyle play. So there we are, chaps. So we've prepared a little deck for this evening, which again will be as smooth as silk. Thanks, Voodoo. This was done at breakneck speed after a day of budgeting, which is nice. Not for my business, for someone else's, but there we are. And Carl, thankfully, knows what he's broadly doing after having a 10-second.
And a bit of the brain fart at the end there. I just got too excited.
Well, that'll go soon anyway. Can you get the messages? Yeah,
just a few more comments in, guys, and then it'll disappear off the screen. Cheers.
I can't forgive the comment, to be fair, Carl.
Oh dear. Anyway,
hope you enjoy the cake. Anyway,
this evening we're basically going to cover the game on Saturday. The game on Tuesday rather against QPR. We covered the game on Saturday. So game against QPR. On Tuesday, we're going to cover a preview of Lincoln City. On Saturday, we're going to cover the press conference from earlier today from our dear friend and leader, Tom Cleverley. And then we're going to discuss the interesting statement that was read out or that was put out by the club earlier around staff abuse, I suppose, if you like. And within all that, we're obviously going to pull some highlights of some good things like our academy players coming in on a cup tie and shining like beacons that they are. So that is about that. So we'll start off as we immediately go on slide 2. News update from the press conference for those who haven't seen it. I think it's definitely on Argyle TV, but I think it will also be. Is it chaps on? Is it on YouTube already?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
I believe it is.
it was a good watch. Cornell Suture's English hasn't got much better. That's the only thing I got out of the first half of it. But, there we go. So the illustrious striker update. We have a bid in for one. It's a second bid. We've had no news back on the bid. That was what was mentioned by Tom earlier. I do feel genuinely sorry for him because he's the man thrust out, a bit like me tonight, in the middle of the stage with the spotlight and said, perform, monkey, when there's some bad news to share, which isn't great. Carl, your thoughts on the ongoing saga that is our number 9 replacement?
Well, I suppose we should have put / centre back as well, shouldn't we? Because we're both massively key positions. I'll probably even say a centre back's probably more pressing than a striker at the moment. Especially if Aseli carries on his form from Tuesday, and obviously Peppel's fit now as well. So yeah, I'll say a centre back's more pressing, but yeah, it's going to probably drag on into the last week, as Tom has predicted. We'll probably see a lot more movement with loans as well in Premier League clubs, allowing people to leave on loan. So it's annoying, but it was expected. It's the same old answers, which you can't give any more than that because that's only the information you can share. So whoever it will be. I still don't know if him coming out saying it's going to excite the city is going to come back and bite us on the bum. It probably will. If it isn't Al Hamadi, then yeah, I can't think of anyone else that's going to get us excited. So yeah, time will tell.
I think the big problem is that the transfer market, even at the best of times, is such a movable feast. One day it's X, the next day it's Y, you end up with Z. That by making statements like we've put a great bid in for someone and it's going to excite everybody, it may have been on that day, but that door might have closed and we might have been on to another one the day after. So I think that's the danger of that type of statement. I thought he played his cards a lot more closer to his chest today than he did in previous presses, which was good. Andy, any thoughts on centre backs coming in? Have you got a view?
I said the guy from Bristol City that I heard about, Roberts. Yeah, I'd heard he was coming in, but again, once you get a name out there, as we found out with the previous sort of transfer interest, they soon go somewhere else. So it's very much you've got to keep your cards close to your chest and not give any hints of who we're bringing in. I think this happened twice, 2-3 times this season, this pre-season, where we've got players in we didn't even know were coming in. So yeah, I think Mr. Cleverley's got to keep his hands or his cards close to his chest, really, and hopefully we can get this guy in. Who's to say we won't? But yeah, strikers.
But I heard through one of my contacts that he was actually in the building when Tom said we'll have someone in by the weekend. He had come down, he had done the business, he had been measured up for his kit, he had been introduced to his teammates, and then he got a phone call saying, "Back you come, Nobby. We've had a knock, so not yet." And then he spent the last 2 games on the bench unused, which is frustrating.
It's frustrating, it's very frustrating because we want to get these players in ASAP. Although I do think that Tuesday night was a vast improvement, second half probably, with Pulse and Zoops and Belarus at the back as well. So there's hope there, from that game on Tuesday, as we'll talk about later on. Yeah.
No, I agree. I think the problem with Roberts is that he covers left-sided centre back, left back, and left midfield. Therefore, a bit like us, you kind of want your utility players in and around your bench, because if he sits on the bench on Saturday and covers 3 positions, he's done half a job, hasn't he, for his current team? So I think that's probably the reason why he's not been
bench. Wasn't helpful either on Tuesday, was it?
No, not really. Herb, give us the young fans' view of the world, because I'm sure it's full of patience and understanding, mate, isn't it?
No, it's really not. My head was on my so. Yeah, I just think just attracting players are going to be an issue. Like we spoke about it before, haven't we? Just where we are, like geographically, obviously that's not our fault. But getting stuff done in the pre-season and having depth to train with in pre-season, that can be done quicker. So I think there was a sort of fault there, but there's nothing you can sort of cry about. But just stuff like Hardy's been gone for so long, we still haven't found a replacement. You could tell, like, I don't know, I don't really understand Cleverley's thinking in the sense that we've had a pre-season where we've been short on defenders. We've had to pay Waidu at centre-back, which he's a good centre-back, but he's one of our better players when he's playing in his best position. So you don't want to be playing Waidu at centre-back. You don't want to be pushing out Such, do you? So you don't want to be doing all of that. And we were promised a competitive budget. We were promised a top 6 budget, and I don't think we've seen a fraction of that spent. And especially defence and forwards are the main thing we need to get. Our midfield is absolutely fine now, and I even think like wingers, we've got like Benaru, Samichi, even like and players you can bring on in that sort of depth. But like defenders, we're really short, and a sole number 9 who's going to finish like 75% chance he's going to get. So that's what we really need.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think, if you look at the year we went up, we had Hardy, we had Cosgrove, we had Ennis, we had the Wayne train as 4 interchangeable strikers. 2 were on the bench, 2 were either on the pitch or one off each other.
Yeah.
They all had slightly different playing styles. Cosgrove's first game at Derby was a good introduction as a game changer. And Brad has said we had 10 million plus. Very true, Dave. Very true. Good to see you. It felt like there was a bit of a variety of style. So if we had to go direct, we had the players. Ennis held the ball up well for a small man. Cosgrove, when he had a bit of wind blow him off the ball, but held the ball up for a big man. You had Hardy who could run in behind.
Yeah.
And Wayne is a bit of a that's better. Well done, Cole.
I'm still
Wayne
learning.
is a bit of a mixture of those two. Where at the moment we've got 2 that are very samey, in my opinion. Your thoughts on that, our chaps, in terms of Pepple and Asani both seem very similar. Both can play with the ball with their back to goal quite well. Both can lay off. They haven't got massive blistering pace, but they're quick enough, and they get around in the box and move pretty well. But we haven't got that big contrast in styles, I think, that we've had in years gone by. Would that be a fair assumption?
Yeah, I would say so. Both very similar. Obviously, Pepple's a bit more physical. He's got a bit more height than Aseni, so he's probably your kind of your target man type.
Yeah.
I think Aseni is going to be with work. You can see what he did on Tuesday. I think he's going to be that fox in the box type of striker. Obviously, that isn't going to be the finished article yet. So we need another striker and has got experience of doing a job of what Aseni hopefully will do for us in the future. But we need that extra striker in that's a bit different to what we've got. That's obvious, I think.
Just want to say hello to a few people because now I've got to try and be my inner Mike voice. Harry Vanzino, hello, good evening. I don't think we've seen you much before. Dave Mortimer, good evening, Dave. It's very unlikely to bring Bradders up in a conversation, so I don't know whether he's upset you today or not, but that's an unusual tact for yourself. Truth Plymouth 666, hello, good evening. He says, agreed a deal with Lord Lucan. But he might not turn up either, which is fair. Steve's in, although he's at work, but we won't say that. He's in on the comments. Guess he works in the dockyard. And we've seen XD Hollow 0 as well in. You've mentioned XD about youth and talent and bringing them through. There's a bit on that about later, so that's cool. Alex Head, good evening. 6'2" target man and a 5'9" pacey winger. 6'2", I'd have a 6'7", but that would be just my preference. But a winger would be good too. I agree. Team news and injuries. I did feel for Tom earlier because I think Chris Errington said to him, I might as well be talking to you like a medical doctor because all I seem to ask you about is certain parts of people's bodies every time I get in front of the microphone, which is true. He did go through an exclusive list today, and I must admit, in my haste this afternoon, I listened to that press conference and typed at the same time. So I'm reasonably accurate, but said that Connor Hazard and Jack McKenzie will be back at the end of August, which is 2 weeks away, which is good and promising because I think his words were that will feel like 2 new signings, and it bloody will, which would be good. Joe Edwards, Brendan Galloway, and Caleb Roberts all close to returning in the next week. I think he said he'd be highlighting for the Leighton Orient game on Tuesday night. And potentially Brendan Galloway will be back for Saturday, 50-50. Patterson has a calf scan this morning after 2 days of letting it rest. We don't know when he'll be back, but it certainly won't be Saturday. And Freddie Osaka is 2 weeks away. So,
Julio Pleguezuelo, he's going to be a little bit longer, isn't he?
Julio Pleguezuelo, I think, will be October, November. So,
we miss Pleggy. Pleggy, if you're watching tonight, mate, we're missing you, mate.
Evening, Pleggy. Your number one fan's not here, so he's probably not turned in tonight, but there we go. We'll go reverse order. Herbie, we're going to unpick some of the croc list.
Well, the biggest one there is Hazard, isn't it? I mean, I think everyone's gagging to get him back, and once we do, we'll start becoming Argyle, and we'll start becoming this team that can look to promote and get out of this league. Mackenzie, I've not really seen much of him, like only little bits in pre-season, but from the reputation he's got, like, I feel like he's just going to be good. And I do think we are lacking very much on, because I know you say he goes forward, Gav, but a lot of the time for Aberdeen, was it Aberdeen you played for? I think it was.
Mackenzie,
he was strong defensively, and on one-on-one situations, it was really tough to get past him.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, and also he can, give that sort of support to Mumba. But we spoke about this before as well. We really don't want Mackenzie swapping for Mumba at any point, because Mumba needs to stay up the pitch as much as possible. As soon as he starts dropping back and, trying difficult stuff in difficult situations, like in his own box, in his own half, and losing the ball, that's where we don't want. So, and I think Mackenzie's sort of discipline and maybe Edwards on the other side will sort of negate him from doing that, and will probably make our team stronger.
Andy, thoughts on two things. I'll ask you two questions. One is, Benarous, is he a long-term left back? That's question one. Question two is Cornell Such right back ? You were there Tuesday. You saw both play. What are your thoughts?
Benarous, I'll tell you what a player he is. He's fast. He can get a crosser. I mean, the crosses he put into the box were amazing.
Senny's first goal was outstanding.
It was absolutely superb, and it was pinpoint as well. And all that Senny had to do was get a foot to it, and it was in the back of the net. That's what we missed so much last season. The ball was going across the box last season, but it wasn't being tapped in, by anyone. It was also just maybe shots outside the box or headed efforts, but you never saw that box, the ball fizzing across the box like that, So Benarous, I think, is going to be an absolute star for us at left back. And I like the idea of having.
Would you keep him at So someone asked me on Twitter earlier. I can't remember who it was. I can't remember. But someone said, "Would I play Eamon Benarous permanently at left back, or if Mackenzie's fit again, would you play him there?" What would you do if you've seen the ability of the lad? What would you do in terms of if Mackenzie's fit and the real deal? Would you let them battle for that number 3 shirt metaphorically, or would you push him further up the pitch or have him on the bench? What's the crack?
I'd keep Benarous at left back, and I'm not sure whether Mackenzie can play in a centre back role. But if he can, then it's a win-win, isn't it? Because we've got two good players there, or as you say, chomp at the bit for that number 3 shirt. I reckon that Benarous is, well, from what I've seen, he's mustard. If we can keep him fit, and he's had 2 knee operations and stuff for cruciate ligament and other issues, but he seems to be over that now. And if we can keep him fit this season, he'll be a really great player for us. No doubt about that whatsoever. With regards to Cornell Zooks, I think he plays better in the back 3. So whether your question was having him on the right, yeah?
Yeah, so Cornell at right back. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean he played well there, but I think he'd play better as a part of a 3 at the back. So like we had last season, we had Zooks there, we had Pleggy and either Katic or Talierov. So I think he plays better there. I mean, we can try him there if he's good enough to go there, because I think our friend, what's he called? 22. He's out again, isn't he?
Galloway.
Oh, Mr.
Galloway. Yeah, sorry, I'll get my worms mixed up there. Yeah, Galloway's out injured again. So, is it going to be a space for him?
He might be back for Saturday, though. I think it's only a precautionary knock. I don't think it's anything major. So
maybe it's not major, but it's like we've just got the season back again, but he's already out injured. He's a bit of a sick note, sadly. So yeah, I mean, we could try him there. He did look good there.
I think this team's calling out to be a back three, isn't it? Really? Do you think?
Yeah.
I don't think Galloway is as strong at fullback as he is at centre back. I don't think Such is as strong at fullback as he is at centre back. And if once we have Pleggy back, and Steve just said there, Mackenzie can play centre back. If you've got centre backs of Mackenzie, Pleggy, and Such to hold a certain person's hand, I won't say who, but if they've got a back line of that, then I think that's stronger. And then you can play Benarouz further up as left mid, and then
I just think you imagine sort of Benarouz at left back, and then you've got Mumba on the left wing as well. Those two together potentially could run rings around defences.
Yeah.
So,
Carl, your thoughts on midfield? So Caleb Roberts is close to coming back. Brendan Wordy was Herbie very, very articulately put earlier that is playing in the back four. Brendan Herb, you've obviously done well on your exams. What would you do in terms of that midfield lineup? I think Ibrahim and Boateng did very well on Tuesday night. I think they both impressed pretty well. So what's your thoughts on that midfield lineup? Because we've got four good, strong players now, if you include Caleb Roberts in that too.
I think I'll keep it as it was Tuesday night. I think Ibrahim and Boateng are a very decent partnership. I'm glad Boateng's started the season off well. He seems, against Barnsley, I thought he was okay. Obviously, most people at Bolton were pretty poor. And then into the QPR game, I thought he really took his chance, really shone. Maybe obviously the opposition probably were obviously on the younger side, so it's probably a little bit easier for him to have the ball for longer periods and kind of direct play a bit more than he would in a League One game. But I thought he was impressive. Ibrahim again was solid. I really like from what I've seen from him from all three games, to be honest. And I think that's our first choice combo in the midfield. Obviously, Caleb Roberts. I would like to see him having a bit more game time, because I think obviously Tegan Finn and Joe Hatch will have a lot of minutes this season. So hopefully Roberts can share that as well. And obviously we'll touch on. Obviously we haven't touched on injuries yet with Asaka, but I think when he comes back, I think he'd be the one that needs a loan, because I think he would be the one struggling to get minutes around everybody else. So yeah.
You've took the words right out of my very dear mouth. Was Freddie is back. Freddie has had a couple of goes pre-season on the wide left, I think, and on the wide right. He's either come on for Xavier Amici, or he's come on for Ballymumba. If we're looking at pecking orders at the moment, Tegan Finn seems to have grabbed the nettle, if that's the right word. Whereas I think Asaka, whether he was carrying or not, and what just seemed a little bit a yard behind the pace for someone who burst onto the scene last year and did really well. So, common sense is above us all, and anyone who's listening, would you get to Saka out to maybe a League Two club or a Conference Club Truro or something, and try and get him some confidence, a la Randall and oh God, what's his name? My striker who's now back at Truro. Jeff Cott of years gone by, where they go and tear the league up. What are your thoughts, chaps? Well, Carl's already laid his nail to the mast. Of the two,
yeah, we need to ship him out on loan, and I think Klebs has made a little mistake in sending Callum Wright out on loan. To a team in our league as well. So I think Asaka needs plenty of game time. He's not going to get at Argyle at the moment. He's just not ready yet. But Callum Wright, I think, would be. He's proven at this level. He's won a championship at this level.
The one I didn't get and still don't get, and now he's starting every week for Barnsley is Ogbeta. They think he's the best thing since sliced bread.
I don't understand why we loaned out so many players, and Andy's absolutely right. The players that we should be loaning out are for development, so like Asaka, like Roberts, and I think it was during the fans forum that Cleverley, or was it it's Parkinson, did say stuff about, and David Fox said stuff about that we'll be loaning out to Truro just because they're playing at a high level now. National League, and actually they play I went to watch them last night. against Southampton under-21s, and they play very much on the floor football, like sort of Tom Cleverley sort of style of play. So it would definitely be giving a Saka, giving Roberts to them if he had the chance. But right now, I don't think he should, because we need the depth, and players like Callum Wright and Ogbeta and even Beidou to some extent shouldn't have been loaned out. We should have loaned out the youngsters and kept that depth and kept
I think
sort of players.
Beidou's a different obstacle because he refused to basically, by the sounds of it, play League One football. So I think he was only turning up the training to make sure he was in good nick to go on a loan, and he's playing.
Did you think he was too good for it? Did he?
Yeah, that's what David Fox said, is that Beidou decided he didn't want to play League One football, which is why he's not here. Because I think
same as Bundy then.
The other two, you're right. I think we've sent them out a little bit prematurely. Early in the window, thinking probably we were going to get very good replacements, and that's not quite happened yet. Although we have had 10 in the door, so 9.5. We won't go there, but you know what I mean. Welcome a few others that have come in the door. I've seen Ninja Matt. Good evening. I agree with you. Eamon will end up further up the pitch in the 10 role. I think he'll be batting that out with Caleb Watts in the future, and that was my answer earlier on X. Alex said, good evening. Yeah, keep him at right back for now. You're on about Cornell Such. I tend to agree with you. I would be doing the same. I think Cornell's more of a threat up the pitch. He's got a decent shot. He's got a long throw, and he's a threat in the box if he is getting up there. And if you think Joe Edwards has scored goals further up the pitch in the past, reference Hull, etc., then Cornell would definitely be a big threat up the pitch because he's 6'3", I think, and he can get up like a centre half. So.
And he made that run on Tuesday night, didn't he?
It was like Pele watching escape to victory, wasn't it? He was bidding it around.
Just touching back on Osaka a little bit, I think he needs to. He definitely needs that loan in men's football to build himself up, because he's quite tiny. He's not quite strong on the ball. He gets knocked off quite easily, and he doesn't seem to have that confidence like Tegan Finn does, for example, just to get on the ball and just run at someone and take someone on. I just find that Osaka kind of backs away from that a little bit and kind of cuts back, and
he's in no man's land any little bit, because he hasn't got that physicality yet to
he's supposed to be ahead of Tegan Finn, obviously age wise. He's older than Tegan Finn himself. So
do you not agree as well, Carl? I don't know if you thought this as well, because you were at Bolton, weren't you?
Yeah.
Do you not agree when Finn came on, he was our best player?
Oh, he changed the game straight away. His first touch was a nutmeg. Another one where he won us a free kick. He completely changed it.
And when I mean, obviously, I'm not discrediting Osaka. I do think he's brilliant. But when have we seen Osaka come off the bench and and be the best player and really change the game? And I'm not saying he should at this point. But the fact we've got, I don't know how Finn is. He 17? However old he is.
17,
yeah.
So he's at that age, and we've watched him and thought, God, he was actually really good. He was one of our best players out there, and he only played 20 minutes. That's almost unheard of. That's not expected of a Saka. But the fact Tegan Finn is doing that means he probably should be over him. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I tend to agree, chaps.
Good comment on that Alex said there. Baker on loan once Hazard's back. I'd probably send Ashley Hammond out on loan rather than Baker, because from what I saw in the training session, I thought Baker looked quite good in goal. He looked quite sharp.
Yeah.
That's whether we could do it on the day. Well, maybe we should have tried him on Tuesday night in that game in QPR.
Yeah. No, it's that's definitely food for thought. Even Steve Cooper.
Sorry, Gav. You said about Baker starting on Saturday, didn't you?
I did. Don't reveal the depth.
Sorry.
What's wrong with you, boy?
Sorry.
I've got the power to mute him now.
This is you have. This is what happens when he doesn't turn up to his own work, is it? He just swans in at 1 minute 2 and goes, right, boy, where do you want me? The arrogance of youth, a bit like Tegan Finn, funnily enough. See what I did there? Decent.
Very good. Very good.
So I'll go back again. So it's been rudely interrupted by the boy. Evening, Steve Cooper. Gavin, you're all looking at the bus. What? I don't understand that. I said we'd win on Tuesday. This will give us a step forward. I agree. I definitely think we'll have a confidence bit going into Lincoln. So whizzing through transfer philosophy. I didn't buy this line, but I've obviously wrote it because I was listening to it as I typed. Transfer philosophy. So we're in no man's land at the minute. Lots of work done early in the window, and then loads done in the last week. We're kind of in the twixt and between bit. This makes it difficult. And then he wouldn't comment on defender recruitment, but it's unlikely anyone will be in before Saturday. Carl,
Mm-hmm.
are you buying any of this no man's land nonsense?
It's hard to know what to believe at the moment, isn't it? It's just frustrating for him. It's probably frustrating for Tom Randall and David Fox and the fans. We're all frustrated. It just seems to be a little bit of a different approach now. When it was, it was location and financial wasn't really much of an issue. Now it's kind of both are an issue, which I don't know whether that's because we're not putting up the money or clubs are just seeing us now as being desperate, as Tom has now said, and clubs are wanting more money. So, yeah, we're kind of stuck nowhere at the moment until things fall into place. Maybe when clubs start panicking about moving players on, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that is also very true. I just think you put your foot down, don't you? One thing I will say is in the defence of the team, I was having this discussion yesterday. The Premier League sides will name their 25 squad members, I imagine, tonight or tomorrow for their season up and coming. That will then sort the wheat from the chaff, and there will be some fringe players in the Premier League that are thinking, oh, now I'm going to have to go away on loan because I've not been named in the 25. That should then open the door, and yet, even if it's not direct to us, it could mean that some of the Championship sides get them and we get some of the Championship players. So that will start to get the market moving again. However, I think it's been desperately slow. And someone said on X earlier, I don't know if you're listening tonight. If you are, then tell me who you are. But about having either Randall or Fox on the press conference every Thursday to give a slight recruitment update, because it does feel that poor Tom Cleverley's been wheeled out, and the opening question from every journalist is, when are we signing a 9? When are we signing a centre-back? Any news on this? Any news on that? And
or just having a staff profile on Tom Randall, because we've heard literally nothing from him at all. I know Jimmy Dickinson didn't have much time with the press or interviews, but at least he was out there talking. And, when he used to give updates during the summer and at the end of windows. So it'd just be nice to even have a little interview in Plymouth Live or something with Chris Errington, but to hear nothing just seems a bit odd.
Yeah, I think they're between a rock and a hard place there, the club, a little bit, because like spending half day or 2-3 hours with the press, you know what'll happen next. Oh, what are you fucking talking to Errington for? You should be fucking signing players. So
you can't win. You can't win.
You kind of can't win really on that perspective. What I'd really like to see is him have an in-depth interview, as Jimmy D did in numerous seasons gone by, with Charlie Price or someone on Argyle TV to say, talk us through that window. That was a difficult one, wasn't it? What did we experience? Who did we miss out on? And be a bit more open and a bit more honest on that basis. Maybe, this 5th, 6th of September, when he's sort of had a chance to breathe a little bit. That I think would be interesting. But yes, it's a frustrating time, I think, for everybody. Ninja Matt says, trouble is we've all been told different things each week, only small bits of detail. It'll probably help to know the strategy. I think that's the big thing, is if we had and I was talking to Carl pre-show on this, if there was an Andy Parkinson once a month video update, or there was a Fox video update that says, hello, we're here, we're as frustrated as you are, here's what's going on, can't name names, but just a little bit of information regularly, I think would be a lot, would calm a lot of nerves. And we'll talk about this later, but essentially I think that nervousness around the recruitment market, and we've lost 2 games on the bounce, has made everybody jittery and everybody a little bit angsty. And the comment and the statement tonight about the club staff getting abuse, and I said, I likened it, you check into a hotel, you find a hair in the bath, the next thing you do is go, right, what house is dirty so I can get some money off, and you go bump, and you look for stuff. That's what's happening, I think, to the fan base at the minute, is we're genuinely going, right, well, that's wrong, we've lost, that's wrong, we've lost, we're not getting the answers we want, right, what else is crap? And there was a few moans in hospitality on Tuesday night around what will now be known as Chilligate, which I'll go into a lot later. And it was just the feeling of, and we were 2-0 down. And it was just all of that. And then suddenly the mood lifted at the end of the game in hospitality because we won. So it's amazing, I think, for the whole club, what a stringing a few results together would do. And I think Tom mentioned it earlier in the press conference, saying, "Look, we're all frustrated because we've lost and we've got this big injury list, so it's not helped." Would that be fair?
Yeah, I just think as a club, we just want as much transparency as any other club gets, and also just stuff like I'm not having a dig, but just like the fans forum, like a lot of the time, like I watched it. I know you guys are there, but I watched it and just like it seems like they're dodging questions. Like I can't remember who it was, but they asked about the away form, and it's a really good question that fans want to know about the away form. Is it going to change? What's going to change about it? And they sort of just completely diverted it and talked about what they do on the coach instead of actually what are they going to do and what's the mentality going into away games and going, because that is out of everything that's going on, that is the one thing that I think if you ask any Argyle fan to change, what do you want to change about your club? We want a better away form, because we've been struggling with that for ages, like for a long, long time. Even when we went up, we struggled away from home.
Yeah.
And instead of, I know obviously he can't give a great response, but I felt like he didn't have to dodge the question. I think it was David Fox who answered it and Parkinson, but they could have given a better answer, a more like strategic answer and answer that the fans want to hear, which will like lift them up for away atmospheres. And yeah, that's just my take on it. But I'm not having a dig. Yeah. I'm not saying that.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree, Herbs, about what you say about transparency. We've got to be careful with this because already we've sort of been talking about keeping the cards close to the chest with Clevs in particular. So that transparency has to be sort of kept, undercover, if you like. But yeah, certainly from the top, Andrew Parkinson and Foxy and, XYZ and all those people, and Mr. Hallett, transparency. We used to have that at the club. We used to have quite a transparent club. We knew it.
We used to have it when we're doing well, but when we're not doing well,
they shy away.
Yeah. I think that's half the problem. Is like, as an exec leader of a business, certainly a customer facing business as this one is, and I've done this job unfortunately for my sins. Like, as the leader of the organisation, so Andy Parkinson in this instance, you want to take the pressure off your team. So a bit like the manager does on the players when they have a crap performance, they go, send the arrows to me, leave the boys alone because they got to train in the week. It's kind of the same with the organisation. Andy should be stepping up. I know he's not a natural communicator to the press and he's not a natural talker. He's a great strategist and his record is unrivaled, 5 to 30 million of revenue. You can't argue with that at all. But when the chips are down, I think you need to get your face out there a bit more. I think you need to talk to fans a bit more and front up, because like there are a lot of keyboard warriors. And there was a poll in the week, wasn't there, around who wants to get rid of Simon Hallett, and 92% said no. So the small minority in the whole of society shout the loudest. We get all of that. I won't go political. I was going to then, but I won't. That's a big challenge. But I think if you're out, even if you're not talking in a forum basis where you're on a show like this or whatever, if you're putting out a little video. Little video message. We can see your mug and they can see your words and they can see your expressions and the way your tonality comes across, and says, we're as frustrated as you are. All these things start to front things up, and then suddenly people get a bit calmer. And I think Thursday comes, everyone's so angsty by Thursday. TC says a bit, everyone calms down for a day, and then if we win on the Saturday, it carries on. If we lose, it's back to square one. Probably times 2. So I think there's a real opportunity here for the exec of the club. So I'm talking Andy, and I'm probably talking David Fox, to take a bit of pressure off of the playing department, of the football department, and just be a bit more regular, even if it's like we've got nothing to tell you, but we're going to come out and say that. That I think would be a good use of time and comms for the fan base to hear, rather than nothing, because then you get you only sing when you're winning, don't you, exec? When it's going well, you're all there for everybody, and you can't get them off Argyle TV. When things go badly, they all disappear and hide at their own backside. So I believe that is a really good thing. It's not an easy thing to do if you're not in that way inclined, but I think it needs to be done to show proper leadership. That's my 2 pence on it anyway. Okay, a few more little comments, and then we'll move on, I suppose. That we got here. Let's go down. Oh, Ninja Matt. Transparency is important. Not regard to some things, though. The trouble is silence makes things feel worse. Or fester worse, sorry, fester more, sorry. Just some comms or statements helping us understand. I think that's the point I've just made. Steve Cooper, nice to see Clevs. Really enjoyed when we got our first win. I'm sure he'll push us forward. Also, good pod, guys. Sod the fireworks. Oh, yeah, I forgot it was fireworks tonight. They'll be on in a minute, won't they? 20 minutes. It'll be boom, boom, boom outside. Marcus, good evening, Marcus. Good to see you, mate. We're only transparent as a club when successful. That's the problem. And I think that's probably what we've just kind of said at the end of that. So yeah, keep your comments coming. Next slide. Now I do feel like the Prime Minister.
You'll be touching on Tegan Finn a little bit on the end of that.
Oh yeah, well yeah, he comes a bit later, but yeah, we can do. So just the last bit of the presser. Academy prospects. Tegan Finn, season was an important part of the squad, not just an academy player. Key part of it. Same with Hatch. They've both either been in or travelled on every squad so far. Fantastic. They both earned it. I don't think we've given enough airtime, and maybe we need 1 minute or so. Let's give it to the youngster because you're probably a little bit older than these guys, but not much. Joe Hatch, what's your thoughts on him? We've done Tegan Finn to death, but Joe Hatch, did you thought he played well Tuesday?
Yeah, he played right, didn't he?
Oh, well done.
Yeah, he did well.
Jesus, wept. All right, wasn't he?
I don't know. I thought he was all right. I don't know anything else you want me to say. I was mainly looking at Tegan Finn, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought Hatch was at fault for the second. Was it second goal?
Yeah,
he lost his man.
I think that's
which he'll learn from.
That's an experience, but other than that, he played quite well.
I thought when he moved inside, when Benarus went wide, he moved inside and helped Asani out as that natural goal scorer and poacher. I thought he looked really, really effective.
Yeah. Again, Hatch is naturally a striker, isn't he? So he's playing out of position. So, and I thought he adapted quite well there.
Game time, really, really, really important for the lad. Confidence massively because he's going to be chucked on in games soon and he's going to be told go and get a goal. And if he's got that ability, then great. In fact, I promise her I'll leave it alone.
From Max Scott. Welcome in Max Scott.
Just quickly, my son won Player of the Match for Tamilton under-15s tonight.
Come on, sponsored by the Blog.
We'll come on to that later on.
We've got a slide on that later. Yeah. Well done. Right, next slide, please, Carlos. So, analysis QPR. It's as if we've wrote these, isn't it? In order. So 4-2-3-1. I don't know in our group. So I think Mike was saying, we're playing three at the back. No, we're not. We're never playing three at the back. I don't know if anyone else saw that or whether it's just Mike.
I think you reverted to it.
Well, going forward, I put this on a slide. I probably should have put this in actually as next slide, but I didn't run out of time. But if you think about when we've got possession, Such and Benarus both go up the pitch and invert, and Boateng hangs back until they play kind of a back three. When we're in defence, we do genuinely play 4-2-3-1. So I think the formation was the same. Well done, Carl's son from Ninja Matt. Thank you, Ninja Matt. It's very kind. So I thought the formation was strong. We were super organised and slick on the ball. And I thought the one thing that was different, you boys can talk in a minute, but I think one of the differences, maybe one of you can pick this up, speed of ball. So across the turf, I think Bolton, we were really sluggish in our passing. So our passing wasn't at pace, which meant that half a second to a second gave the defence a bit more time to readjust. When you're the ball in triangles, certainly in front of me in the Upper Mayflower, second half, was so quick. Oh, by the way, what club comes to Argyle and make us attack the Devonport first half?
Yeah, I hate when that happens. Yeah. I hate when they switch.
Absolutely distraught. That was that ruined my first 10 minutes of the game. I was just like, what are you doing?
Because you always look forward to the Devonport end in the second half, don't you? Go on, Andy.
It's all tradition, though, isn't it? Because we actually won the game. Yeah. Doesn't matter what half you sort of get. You know what I mean? It's all superstition and like witchcraft.
It is witchcraft. You're absolutely right. Anyway, that's by the by. But I thought the pace of passes, the zip of passes, meant that we got through the lines much quicker. I think when we don't play as effective, and I think that's confidence as well. Bolton, the ball was really slowly passed, so the patterns were there, but we weren't passing as quickly. And I think in Barnsley the same. I think the first time we've probably paid at TC's speed this week, ball across the turf, we ripped teams apart, and I thought we were fantastic. Quick couple of minutes on this, boys, before we move on. Let's start with you, Andy. Your thoughts on the game overall?
I thought it was superb. I just thought even the first half, we went 2-0 down, but even the first half, we were playing some really good football. There were a couple of mistakes, yeah, of course there were. I mean, Paulson didn't look comfortable at the back. Zeus made a couple of straight passes. It got better. The faster the game moved, it just got better and better. Second half was outstanding. I mean, Tegan Finn, incredible. This young man, for the future of our club, and people like Roberts as well, who I know he didn't play on Tuesday, but people like Roberts, people like Hatch, they're going to be the future of the club. We've got to sort of pin them down to contracts. But yeah, absolutely delighted for Finn because he won the pen. I think it was a bit of a soft pen, but he won the pen for us. Sadly missed, but that's football. Really good football. I really enjoyed watching that. So I was sat next to Crazy Pilgrim. Hi, Mike, can I miss you? He's on the big
I knew that was coming.
I sat next to him on Tuesday, and we were sort of both commenting on Tegan Finn and stuff. And yeah, he looks a good prospect. Really does.
I agree. Quick 30 seconds, Carl, on Tuesday, because we've done most of it.
Yeah, just echo what Andy said. I know it was against QPR under 12s, but it was still a very good performance. We had a few young lads ourselves, so I think the average age wasn't massively different.
Our average age was younger than theirs.
Yeah, but it wasn't by much. That's what I'm saying.
No, it's a couple of years. Yeah. Right.
But it's good to breed a bit of confidence with a win, isn't it? And it's good to see some of our homegrown players, especially Tegan Finn, giving us a show which we all expected from him anyway. So yeah, a win breeds confidence, and hopefully we can take that into Saturday.
Yeah, Herbs.
Yeah, I just think it was nice to see because I want to get your thoughts. Our two best players really was Aseni and Benarout, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not starting a single league game.
Well, I would also say Boateng and Ibrahim in the midfield were outclassed.
Okay, yeah, they were good. But if you had to pick two, for me it would be Aseni and Benarout.
Yeah, I agree.
They've barely played a league game between them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just nice for Cleverley, isn't it, to see that actually, Benarout, he's actually class. He can start against Lincoln. And Aseni, for me, I'd put Aseni over Peppel for next week. I might be going on again to the next slide. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. You just keep stealing the thunder, mate. It's all good.
But I think he should start over Peppel against Lincoln.
Agree. PAFC King, good evening. Good to see you back. Harry Vancino, the Place and Urgency of Play Tuesday night was brilliant, intense, and calculated with purpose. Spot on, Gav. I only read that because it said spot on, Gav. Thanks for that, Harry. It's not often I get praised on this show.
Yeah, I'll just keep showing your comments, Gav. It's fine.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I appreciate that. It's all good. Next slide, please.
Next slide, please.
Match detail. So here we go. So we've moved from the past to the future.
Yeah. Really
amazing,
organised.
It's like the production on this show. You just can't buy it.
I'll just stick
back to the future all again, isn't it?
I've got a DeLorean outside. Right. So we're obviously 3:00 Saturday, 16th of August at the NLER Stadium in Lincoln. Herbs, you're going, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
For your sins and excited.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for once. It's really weird, but
good.
Yeah.
Those who can't get there, it's on Sky Sports Plus after the game. The full show will be on, and it's on Argyle TV for overseas only, unless you have one of those silly things that makes you go to Germany or Belgium, like I do. We won't publicise that because I don't think it's highly legal, but there we are. Match officials, Carl Brook has got the whistle. I tried to do some research earlier. I can't see Carl Brook, so anyone who's the referee nerd amongst us, please get enlighten us. At least it's not Gavin Ward. That's a good start. Assistants Andrew Ellis and Marvin Amphlett, and our fourth official was Callum Walchester. Who's praising Gav? Shocking behaviour. Absolutely, Marcus. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. That the love is back. Next slide, please. So, match review. Thank you to young Finley from Argyle News Hub. I was in a panic in a meeting earlier and WhatsApped him and said, "Here, mate, give us the preview, please, because I'm going to run out of time by the time I get home tonight." So this is all down to this young man. Well done. For those who don't know, it's Herbie's apprentice. It's our youth policy. We have 2 now. We're actively recruiting a youth policy to take over the reins one day. One day, Herbs. This will all be yours, son.
Building for the future.
Exactly right. So Finn and Herbs both write our previews and our match reviews that go on the website, and we obviously promote their channels individually through the Block 9 podcast, which is fantastic. Now I do sound like Mike. So we head off to Lincoln on the back of a 3-2 comeback win over QPR in the Carabao Cup. It was a breakthrough night for Tegan, Finn and Joe Atch, and we just discussed Eamon Benarous. All impressing, and we think that Finn should start Saturday. Well, I do anyway. Injury woes continue, though, with half the squad out. We won't go through that again because it's there. Lincoln City, led by Michael Scubler. On the pushovers, we have, I think, twice politely inquired about Michael Scubler's availability to come and run our club for us as head coach, and were told twice to go and do one in a very polite way, which is great. Ninja Matt, sorry, I have to introduce
Well said,
that.
Matt.
Ninja Matt says your recruitment's better than Argyle's. Fancy your job. Yeah, well.
Do you not think, though, Gav, tonight that the live is actually flowing much smoother?
It's like we know what we're doing.
I certainly wouldn't go there, not at all. But so Scubler's head coach, he's been in since November last year, and there's a slide on the managers a bit later. But they've won both of their opening fixtures, the league and the cup. I thought they lost the first one, actually, but no, never mind. With Rico, Hackett, Fairchild, and Conor McGrandles combining well in attack. And they've got an old man up front as well, Mr. Collins, who we'll touch on in a minute. The home form is strong, and they're unbeaten in the last 4 home meetings against Argyle. So we go with lots of confidence, Herb, don't we?
Yeah. Well, Lincoln also, I just realised as well, they're our absolute bogey team as well. I can't even remember us ever beating Lincoln because that Lincoln 2-0 against Argyle, that's only one of 2 teams that beat us
in that league. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
In our promotion season,
and we were torrid that day. Really.
We were
so well, I'll come on next slide in a minute. But they seem to play quite direct football. It's a bit Miron-esque. I think that's probably why we were after Michael Scubler, because it was when we wanted to play a bit direct football, he was the answer to our problems. I think he was looking at him. He's slightly less arrogant than a certain Miron Muchlich, but we won't go there. Everyone's giving crazy Pilgrim redundancy vibes. Please don't. I want to sit back and drink the orange juice next week and the cups of tea. Certainly don't want to be doing this every week. The Milky Bar Kid is well and truly back in the game when he's back from holiday. So it'll be an interesting place to go. I think it'll be a contrast of styles. When we've got the ball, certainly we go through the thirds and down the flanks. And when they've got the ball, I think we need to be looking upwards. So that'll be fun. They'll certainly test our back 4, although Carl and I had this chat before coming on air. Actually, if it is Paulson and Such or Paulson and Weirdo in the back 4, then at least they're good physically in the air, and it might be a little bit of an easier day than trying to zip around and play quick centre forwards you play on the shoulder. Because
I think we agreed that's their strong point, isn't it? Kind of aerial duels and kind of direct football. If we're up against smaller, pacier strikers, then we know the outcome of that.
Yeah. Next slide, Palaz. Predict the lineup. So, unfortunately, this week there is no master tactician spot. I know you're all going to be very disappointed, those that watch and don't listen, from my high-tech version of tactic ball last week. So I am sorry for that, but I just haven't had time. I might try and do it for Saturday and show you the goals in that kind of format with the quick passing. It would have been nice to do this week, so they have zipped it around, but. From what the research we did earlier, both teams play 4-2-3-1. Just a contrast of styles. Some keep it in the air, some keep it on the deck. The lineup predicted for those who listen or those who can't see the tiny writing on screen is as follows, and this is my side, by the way. Zach Baker in goal. There's the first bit of controversy. Yeah. Left back, Eamon Benarous. 2 centre backs in Brendan Galloway on the left. Brackets if fit, and on the right side, Brendan Weirdo, right back of Cornell Such. 2 holding midfielders, which is a little less controversial, of Bradley Ibrahim and Maliki Boateng. In the 10 slot, Caleb Watts, wide left, Ballymumba, wide right, Tegan Finn, and in the 9, Owen Asani. So that's what the team I picked earlier. Anyway,
I think we mostly agree with all that between us all. I reckon.
If you
absolutely Zach Baker,
if you look at the bench,
Give
then by the way, I'll put McCormick on the junior on the bench as well in my Twitter squad.
Just quickly before we move on, can what's his name, Amici play on the other side or not?
Yeah, he can play both sides. Yeah.
So is that not an option? Having Finn and Amici?
No, it is. I just thought Belarus and Mumba would have been.
I just meant like in general. I think that could be.
In general, yeah, he can play both sides. He can play anywhere across those three. Actually,
yeah.
I think he'd be good in the middle because I think he'd spot a pass and he'd also be able to get his left wand out and attack the goal a bit better.
Because I'm still not 100% sure on Ballymumba, like end product wise and how many chances he creates. I think Amici maybe is worth a shot on that left side. If you want Tegan Finn on the right, I think that could be quite interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. What is nice though, right?
Yeah.
First time, is there's actually conversations around selection.
Yeah.
It's not they're the 11 that are fit off your pop and whoever's left sit on the bench. It actually reminded me of I don't know if those who saw it the special ones press conference in Italy where they was like, oh, why do you pick the same team every week? Why don't you change it around? He goes, no, I'll just throw the coins up in the air, and the ones 11 that land on the table, I'll put them in the side, and the ones that sit on the floor, I put on the bench, which I thought was absolutely at his best. But I think there is some real conversation to be had in the selection meeting this week between Finn, Baker. I think he did really well. I don't have much to do, but very confident in everything he did at Torquay. The left side, so Amici or Mumba or Finn, it's 2 of 3. I think that's a really interesting conversation. The centre-back pairing is a really interesting conversation because I think Weirdo and Galloway are probably our 2 most athletic and best defenders in this format, whether Galloway's fit or not. And then the right back, is it Such or Saranola? And then left back, is it Belarus or is it Galloway? So we've actually got some headaches for the coach, which is interesting. And, you add a few more players into this and then you've got, I think, quite a promising squad.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Gav, those pesky kids, right? The Tegan Finn and people like that, they're posing problems for Mr. Cleverley, aren't they? They're posing real problems for him because they had such a good game on Tuesday night that they're ready for selection. I think they're ready to go in and have a go at this.
I agree. And look, I think it's really... there you go.
That's an interesting stat.
Yeah, that isn't it. Block 9 Badger, Steve Vaughan.
Block 9 Badger.
The ref on Saturday has never refed us and we've never lost. So let's hope that stat continues. Herbs, you're back in the game, mate. That trip to Lincoln, you're back in the game. So that's cool. So predicted lineup, those who haven't commented on it yet, what would you change out of that? We'll go along the lineup while you're talking. Herbs, any of those 11 you'd change?
Not really. I don't know. To be fair, I quite like it as that because I think the bench is quite strong as well. And actually starting Tegan Finn and having Amici coming on against tired legs is probably better than Amici starting and Tegan Finn coming on against tired legs for me personally. But yeah, so I actually quite like that. Galloway if he's not fit. Who would be centre back if Galloway obviously isn't fit?
Paulson play on the right.
Why doing? And to be fair, that was the back four when we played QPR, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah. And I mean, I know we conceded 2, but they were probably
Hammond conceded 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we swapped that.
I don't think you can give him too much stick for the second.
No, not the first one. I think the first one was a tricky one. I think the second he's definitely at fault for.
The second one definitely. He was he needs to come off his line.
Yeah.
And the first one he can't do anything about. Can he? He saved it, and the players just
tapped it in. But the second one, he should come across and command his box. And that was the problem at Bolton as well, wasn't it?
So, again, it's communication. It's like Barnsley's, just communicate to each other. Give a shout, keep us ball or whatever, or head it out, or whatever.
You always see like the best back fours of across history have always had really strong, dominating keepers. Like the probably most famous back four would be the Arsenal back four, and then you had Seaman behind them, who was just a rock. And Oh, there's always fucking one in there, Jesus. David Seaman, for those who are listening and not seeing smutty faces all over their screen. But when you've got confidence in your keeper, even if you are Steve Bold and Tony Adams, you kind of work in a different way. I think when you haven't got confidence, and there was about 35 minutes in, Saranola got absolutely was on toast, wasn't it? Was it Saranola or second half? No, first half. Someone got done. Oh, it was the home game, wasn't it? Bolton, where it's come over the top. And Saranola was like, "Are you coming or not?" And he's like froze like Bambi in the headlights. And in the end, Saranola got himself out of trouble and got the ball back up the pitch. But yeah, just basics. If you've got that keeper behind you with that confidence, who's shouting, who's commanding, who's playing as your sweeper, it just gives everybody a lift. And if you're not, you're kind of back to, oh, is he coming, isn't he? And that's when, the goal against home against Barnsley, where Such heads it in the back of thingy. You're just worried all the time about getting the ball away. So I agree with that.
Ninja
Matt. Can someone let the club know they've left the lights on tonight? Don't want to lose out on Almeida because of the British gas bill. Well, I'm budgeting for a hotel. I've seen the gas prices per unit. I'm not saying it's absolutely astronomical. So you're right there. Ninja Matt, if you're there, mate, just break in and turn them off. It's no drama. It'll be all right. The alarm will go off, but that'll be fine. Someone will come up. Next slide. So if we're all agreed on that one, are we?
Yeah, I think so. Go on, Andy.
Good bench.
Yeah, I mean, Zach Baker, you got to start with Zach Baker. Otherwise, how's the kid going to learn? There's no good saying, "Oh, let's get him out on loan." Or we could put him out on loan, yes, but I think he might be a better keeper than Hammond. I don't know. He may not be, but until we see him in action, who's to know? I mean, we had Michael Cooper coming and making his debut one game and having a blinder and going on to have a good career.
I was thinking about this earlier. If you think over the ages, we've had Dungy for those of an age. We've had Nichols for those of an age. We had Alan Miller. Arsenal. Reece Wilmot was a little bit older, but Alan Miller was very young. Michael Cooper was very young. And there's one more. I thought
Matt Macy.
Let's not mention Matt Macy.
God, no, let's not mention Matt Macy.
No.
But those 4 or 5 keepers all came through, all got really early starts playing for the club and actually went on a good careers. I don't see Matt Baker being any different to any of those, I have to say.
You've got to start him somewhere.
Dean says, sorry, I'll stick it back up. Dean says, Hammer will have 2 games max to improve, I believe. I don't see TC having much more patience. The problem is, Dean, after those 2 games, only one before potentially Hazard's back anyway. So,
I feel for Hammond. I really do feel for Hammond because I think there is a keeper in there somewhere. I just don't know where it is at the minute. He doesn't command his box like
he's a good
Hazard
shot
does.
stopper. He's just got no like strategic awareness of where his box is or what the team seems to want to do in and out of possession, and it just makes everyone nervous, including.
Which begs the question: how did he end up at Fulham? What did a Premier League club see in him to take him on?
Stockdale, Stockdale's
it makes
that's right.
The defence look even worse as well. Because a lot of times at Bolton, I don't know if you noticed this, Paul, but a ball would come over and Sorinola would let it bounce 2 or 3 times because you think Ashby Hammond's going to come out and claim it. Instead, he's having to turn around in his own box because Hammond's licking his goalpost instead of coming out and claiming the ball.
He's on
one tonight.
But just stuff like that, and it makes Sorinola look bad if he loses that ball. Whereas actually, it's Hammond that needs to get off his goal line and claim it and command his area more. Yeah, and you say he doesn't command the area like Hazard does. He didn't command the area like any goalkeeper does. All goalkeepers need.
The only one I would say who's similar is oh God, what's his name? Is it Rich at Wrexham now?
Callum Burton.
Burton. So he was another one where I was like, come on, man, come out. Demand your play. Oh, too late.
But he was a good keeper.
He's a good keeper. Yeah, I think Hammond's a good shot stopper, and I think his distribution's first class, I have to say. He pinged some diag balls on Saturday, right, and Tuesday night, right to feet. Can't argue with that. It's just the basics of that. And, we have a very experienced goalkeeping coach who should probably be in his ear every day going, right, today we're going to work on your positional awareness and commanding your box.
Hazard was like that at the start as well, though, wasn't he? He was very much on his line, didn't come and claim crosses. So it might be just a bit of confidence thing, just being in a new team with a completely new defence. He might yeah, I mean, when Hazard's back, he's undoubtedly going back in the team, and Ashby Hammond's just nowhere to be seen. But yeah.
To be fair to Hammond, you've got to have a decent defence in front of you, and we had Paulson playing at centre back last week against Barnsley. You didn't feel you were confident,
but it's quid pro quo. That it works both ways, because if you've got a confident keeper, then the ball's in the air. Mine, you just step out of the way and let it bounce over you, and the keeper collects it. When there's no communication, you coming? Aren't you coming? Am I heading this away? Am I heading it wide? Once you have that half second of indecision, you're on toast.
I think he just needs a game without any mistakes and hopefully a clean sheet. Hopefully to get
clean sheet.
Saturday's the one, guys. Let's be confident. Right, next slide.
Saturday's the one.
So,
clean sheet.
Match preview on tactics. We'll line up 4-2-3-1. And again, I think we mentioned this a bit earlier. Despite depleted centre back pairings, would 3-4-3 be better? I think we talked about that earlier. A back three of Such, Paulson, and Galloway. I'd be signing up to that tomorrow if it was me. But our head coach has made his decision about formations, and we're sticking to it. Thoughts very quickly on a 3-3 at the back?
I'd go for it. I really would. I think we reverted to that on Tuesday night, and I think that's why we won the game, because we became less easy to break down at the back, and it gave Belarus more freedom to go
but then
forward.
Where would you play? Would you play Ballymumba as left wing back, or would you play him up there and you'd play Belarus at the left wing back?
I'd have Belarus left wing back, and then Mumba up,
and then Saranola on the right side.
I mean, that double bag of pace. I mean, if Belarus wants to go on a run, then Mumba can drop back into that position and cover.
No, get Herbie to throw some darts, says XD Hollow. Yes. He's seen that young kid. What's his name? Who's made all the money?
Littler.
And eating his kebabs. Anyway, move on.
He's got big holes in the back of his wall.
Exactly right. Yeah, he ain't that good.
Yeah, they're all in the ones as well.
And he's looking as well.
But... so tactical approach, as we saw on Tuesday, playing through the thirds down the flanks with high ball speed. I mentioned that earlier, was effective with Belarus and Such, all over and underlapping on the wide attacking players. I think that's been I really like the way TC plays football. Because you don't know which way you're going to go. When Amici's got the ball, is he going to go to the line and cut in and hit off his right peg, or is he going to cut in on the left side? If he cuts in on his left, you know damn well that the right back's bombing on down the right hand side. And if he goes right, then you've got Saranola, as it's been, or Such cutting on the left. So you've got lots of options in that little triangle on that corner to try and tease out a place where Asani or Peppel or whoever it is, and Bally at the back post coming in to collect those sort of crosses that have got fizz. So I really like that whole way of football. I thought earlier in the season, or last couple of games, we were only going to do that on the right hand side because we have. It seems like Edwards has done it and Saranola's done it, but actually playing Belarus there, it's massively improved that, and then he's gone bombing down the left, so we can do it both sides by the looks of it, which is, I think, a really good position to be in. So I was very happy with that effectiveness and ball pace. They've learnt now on Tuesday night, if you keep that ball pace up, you'll rip through Lincoln's defence, because I think they've got a lot of bigger, more naturally untricky players. So hopefully we can move them forward very quickly. Phil Tor says Hammond, Galloway, Paulson, Edworthy, Soranola, Isaka, Boateng, new JB, now not fit for purpose in League One. Really? Boateng?
I read it as that as well. That's a bit confusing.
No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Phil, come back in, mate, and tell us.
Just clarify that comment.
Yeah, because I would say Boateng's had great start. I'd say Saranola's been good when he's come on. I don't think Galloway's done much wrong considering he's playing out of position. Anyway, we'll move on. Shoes up if you love Cleverley. Interesting, says Finn. Stand-up performers for Saturday. Obviously, we've gone Tegan Finn, Eamon Belarus, Malachy Boateng. I thought he had a great game on Tuesday night, by the way. Won a lot of ball, made a lot of break up in play, and got the ball forward quickly and out wide quickly. And Owen Asani were standout players, and I think we've discussed them to death. So we shall move on, Carl.
I think he's just saying those players he's mentioned in that comment are no longer fit for purpose in League One, which is a bit of an odd take, especially with Edwards,
game of opinions, Carl.
And Boateng. But yeah, we respect everyone's opinion, of course.
We do. So, summary, we've talked all about all those things, I think. Well, the only thing I would say is the mentality actually on there. So, after setbacks remain an issue, but in terms of mentality, when you go one down, however, I think we've turned the corner on that one. And it felt like Tuesday night, they came right out like a bull at a gate in the second half. And I think the difference is from the previous two games, we came out and got the early goal, didn't we, within 3 or 4 minutes, and that set us up. And then within 6 or 7 minutes, we were level pegging. Then I think it was a matter of if, not when. That's got to give the squad, hasn't it, a real boost in terms of their mentality going in Saturday. If you go one down, you can push on and win 2-1 like we did when we were last in League One.
Yeah, that win, it was a confidence boost for us because the fans got on top of it. It was good to see 3 goals for the first time this season. It was absolutely fantastic to see that in a league match, in a cup match against the top. I say top, a sort of championship side, right? And hats off to the players. I thought they all did very well, and it just gave that good feeling coming out of the ground. That smiles were back on faces. You're walking down the road with a bit of a skip in your step, saying we've just gone past the championship club, and
agreed. Let's just hope that mentality sort of extends. If we do go one down, we don't start seeing the bottom lips go and people start kicking the deck, because 2-0 down on Tuesday night, I thought their body language second half and their urgency and pace of ball was outstanding. I think we already mentioned that. Okay, go on, next slide. Manager comparison. So we do these every week. So a bit more in depth on Michael Skubala. Started off and rose through the ranks at futsal, which is interesting for those who didn't know that. Then became a youth coach and was at the Leeds Academy. And then I think he might have had 1 or 2 games at Leeds in between managers, Carl and I were saying earlier.
I believe so, yeah.
And then named the Lincoln boss in November 2023 when they were in the doo-doo. Had a massive early impact, a bit Miron-esque really, and they finished 11th in that season. Very data-driven and is known for some great set-piece work to outsmart opponents, and that's my only concern about Saturday, is we've conceded a set piece in every game so far. So I hope that Messrs, whoever plays in the back four, Wiradu, Galloway, Paulson, etc., Such have had lots of defensive set piece drills.
I've got a feeling we're going to see lots of crosses being lumped in towards our goalkeeper. Sadly, hopefully he's on top of his game.
Well, you don't have to be a tactical genius, do you? And have a UEFA A license to work out, test our keeper with high crosses and watch him get rooted to the spot. So
we know what's coming.
Unless you've got Hammond and goal.
Well, we need, our centre halves need to get, and I think whoever we play at centre half, they're happier with that, considering what we did last season. There was a lot of lumping, and when we had Katic and who do we have? Katic and Maxi and Pleggy, all the boys there took absolute hammerings, and they did really, really well. But yeah, Ninja Matt, good set piece work. FFS. I won't conclude what those words are, but everybody knows. So that's my worry. But I think Tom's starting to put his real slant on the squad. I think that playing style, as I've mentioned on Tuesday night, was much better pace of ball. So we're aiming for our first league win of the season in a place that's a bogey side. But yeah, as everyone said, fresh new squad. They haven't played many of them at Lincoln before, if any. I think it'd only be Mumba,
Galloway,
Edwards, if he's fit enough to get on the bench. I think that'll be it, won't it?
Saranola, was he here then?
Sorry?
Was Saranola here then?
No, not in League One.
No.
He's joined in the December of the Championship, I think, against Swansea. So yeah, I think new squad. The Voodoo, if you're still watching, it should be lifted. If he hasn't, Voodoo, get on your doll and lift the away day spell, please. Be nice before we go Saturday, and see where we go. But yes, Skubala is an interesting one for me. So player focus, I've gone for their up top, Jerry Collins, not that Jerry Collins, the other one, the shit one. Oops. 207 league goals for the likes of the mighty Shrewsbury Town, Crawley Town, Luton, Cardiff City, Derby County, and Lincoln City. Had 40% aerial duels, and I think that's where we're going to start seeing the ball up in the air and a bit of tennis on Saturday. They seem to want to play very direct. Pass accuracy is pretty good as well, 86% last 2 games. And shots on goal, I haven't actually seen him register a shot on goal yet, so I'll just fill that in with 200 senior goals at senior level. He scored 207 goals in the Championship and League One, so he knows where the onion bag is, doesn't he?
We should be buying him, shouldn't we?
No,
Get bidding for
he's
him.
about 330 years old.
Older than you, then.
Just and for us, I've gone Owen Asani. Why not? Excelled in the 9 position against QPR, got 2 goals, 7 shots, right? 2 goals. And the best stat on here for me, 2.21 XG for one player.
I know,
now,
mental, isn't it?
We'd have all given our left dangly last year for a team 2.21 XG at times. To have that for one player, I thought was outstanding. Let's go around the town. So Herbs.
Yeah.
Asani, right to get the talisman label for Saturday?
Definitely. I think he should definitely play and start. He might even play both, and we might just try and 4-4-2 Lincoln. But I don't know. But he is a definite start. For like how good he was at QPR was ridiculous. A real poacher in the box. Benarouz put some great crosses into him, and he was just sort of there every single time in the right area.
Movement.
Yeah, he's a proper poacher, and that's probably what we missed. And I have to admit, I was quite wrong about him when we signed him. I was like, oh, seems quite a nothing signing. But actually, like for development, and he is only going to get better. And from what I've seen already, he's definitely got the potential to be really good.
Agreed. Before I come to the other boys, I'm going to just go mea culpa. I'm assuming Jonathan Mordacy is a Lincoln fan. In my haste to get this out tonight, you're right. James Collins, not Jerry Collins. Jerry Collins, I haven't got a rugby tacked in yet, but I have now. Jerry Collins played blindside for the Ospreys, which is my team, which is when I was throwing that together at breakneck speed before we came on after work. I've made the bit of a boo-boo. So there we go. Ninja Matt, you've got your rugby analogy in. It's been, 1 hour and 20 minutes or 1 hour and 15 minutes in. It's taken that long for a rugby, but there we go. It's in. Quick 30 seconds, guys, on Asani as being the talisman on Saturday. Do you think he'll start, and do you think he deserves that?
Yeah, definitely. But for me, he does deserve to start because he's bagged 2 goals on his debut. He's got height in his sort of locker as well, which could pose well for set pieces at the back. You know, if we're getting balls coming into the box, then he's going to be the player to head the ball out. Maybe you don't know, but he's I like him. I really like him.
Good, quick movement.
If he gets fed the ball, from people like Benarouz and Caleb Watts, then we stand a chance of going up and getting a win. I think we can get results up there.
Yeah, going back to what Herbie said about a 4-4-2, that could be quite interesting with him and Peppel up front, with Peppel holding the ball up and kind of link and play with him. It kind of reminds me a bit like Noel Ennis in a way. He's a bit more physical and a bit more taller than Ennis.
Yep.
But he's got the same attributes as him, I think. So yeah, he's.
You could even play one of those 2 guys and Amici up front as well.
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
Finn and Bally on the pitch. That would be interesting.
But no, I think
Imagine those 3 coming at you, and then Benarouz coming from the back as well. Man,
I think his couple of goals will give him confidence going
into
Saturday, so he deserves his start.
He was beaming after the game when Charlie posted it. It was lovely to see. He was absolutely beaming, which was great. Jonathan Mordacy is a Cardiff fan, so I'll be seeing you in a few weeks, Jonathan. I love my day out in Cardiff. It's all good. And Ninja Matt, yes, you're absolutely right. A All Black playing for, God rest his soul, actually, for the Ospreys in the 6 or sometimes in the 8 channel, a beast ball carrier. And God rest his soul, he was a great player for us, but unfortunately he's no longer with us. So we'll move off from rugby. Anyway, next slide, please. So the block score prediction. We won't go over last week's, I've admitted this, the Tuesday night prediction league because, we haven't really amassed the numbers because we've been too busy.
I said 3-2.
Yeah, it's all coming out now, and it Captain Hindsight saying there, the old 2020 vision hindsight. I said 3-2. Oh, I said 3-2 after the game on Tuesday, but I said 3-2. So we've all put our danglies on the line. Carl and I put this together, and we both agreed 3-1 to the Pilgrims on Saturday. Get your predictions in the comments, please, chaps and ladies. See what you think. I'll go through the team though. We'll start with you, Carl.
So you cut out then. Say that again.
I said what's your score prediction, Carl, please? Is it different to that?
No, you did generally cut out. I don't know what happened there. But
Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
I would agree. Yeah, 3-1.
3-1.
I think getting the first goal is going to be key. And hopefully, if we can get that first goal, I think we'll be okay. But if we concede the first goal, I think we might see a few cracks starting to show again. But I believe we've got enough confidence from Tuesday to have a real go at Lincoln.
Thank you. Andy?
I'm going to go with PAFC King. I'm going to go for 2-0. Oh, no, I'm not. He said Argyle 0, Lincoln 2. I'm going to go for 2-0 Argyle.
2-0 Argyle win.
Not Lincoln win. PAFC, 100 lines. What are you doing here, boy? No. I'm going to go 2-0 to Argyle. Not
Herbs?
Lincoln.
I'm going to go 4-3.
4-3. Goal
4-3.
fest.
Oh, wow.
I think we'll concede 3 set pieces, but score 4.
Are we going to start playing Kevin Keegan football?
I don't know if that is, to be fair. So
You don't know who Kevin Keegan is?
no, I do. It's just because I'm young in it.
Right. So when you leave here, your homework for tonight, Herbie, is to go back to see when Kevin Keegan was manager of Newcastle in the Premier League. And
Yeah.
that he didn't play a defence. He just said, "Oh well, if you score 5, we'll score 6. Move on."
That's fair enough.
He did have quite a good front line. Go and have a look at it. There were people that you'll recognise now from punditry. Yeah. Anyway, Shearer and a plethora of wonderful attacking players, but that was their philosophy back in the day for those that are over 12. Steve Vaughan says 3-2 to Argyle. I say PFC King says Argyle 0, Lincoln 2. I'm glad to see there's someone here with full of positivity. Dean says 2-1 to Argyle. Well done, Dean.
Well, Dean.
I'd love it if we beat them. Cracking chat. Whoever that was, that Carl who put that in.
It is me behind the scenes
well
doing that as well. Yeah.
Oh, and Ninja Matt's beat you to it as well. I'd love it if we beat them. I'd love it. That's another quote, Herbs, that you have to go and
I have
get.
seen that. I have seen that.
Oh, you have seen that one. Right, okay, fine. That
Just
was on
jogged his
TikTok.
memory there.
Yeah. When he said that, there was no such thing as TikTok, but we'll all move on. Yes. So we've got there. One of the things that hang on. PFC King, have faith, man. We'll win 2-1. Promise. Want a bet, mate. Oh dear. Stephen Cooper's now challenging his PAFC fans to have a bet on the scenario, which is interesting. Okay, we just want to finish off 5 minutes. I put this up as behind the green curtain. See what I did there? Oh, GT says Argyle win 2-1. Thank you, GT. We were talking about the sort of general frustrations around the club and how people have at one time or another had a moan with the club, and that's extended from the A relegation, then change of head coach, and then not enough transfer window action, and then losing 2 games, and then we sort of sat talking, and Carl and I this afternoon before we come on air, and we're talking about like not just the playing department, but actually the operations department, the administration of the club. And as we stand today, we believe, because there's not been communications to the contrary, that we still don't have a head of finance, despite our dearly departed head of finance now being the chief exec officer of Bolton Wanderers. I'm sure that was a nice reunion on Saturday a couple of weeks ago. And we don't have a head of commercial at the moment either. Sam left last year, who replaced a good friend of mine, James Greenacre. If you're listening, James, good evening. And therefore, there is no 2 key heads of department in the business at the moment, which then made us think, actually, without a head of finance, the transfer challenges. So if we are going to spend above budget, or if we are going to move budget around from A to B, and Ninja Matt will know this, being an accountant. So please chop in when you fancy. How do those challenges get met? Is that then a Andy Parkinson overseeing the finance position about transfers. We're just wondering whether this whole thing is not as joined up as it should be. And in years gone by, we've had a good Dave Ray's been there for quite some time. He's a good head of finance. We've had no dramas. We had Jimmy Dickinson, good head of recruitment. All the cogs were turning in the right direction. Now we've got, lack of commercial acumen. We've had a number of sponsors not renew this year. We know that. You can just see on the hoardings in hospitality to know that the Nexus numbers have dropped, etc. Is there something behind the curtain that's not quite right? Don't know what. So goes on to the third slide. Is it coincidence or is it concern? So while I say departments are common, having them all together leave, that kind of warrants a bit of attention to me, that you've had two heads of department leave it. Say it might be a coincidence, but they haven't been replaced. And, who's making those decisions day in, day out? Because everyone's got their own job to do. Are they having to do two jobs? Is all of this a symptom of why we are not as reactive in the recruitment market as we could have been? Because we've got the right people in the recruitment department, but you also need the finance to finance it, right? So, if that head of finance, if the head of commercial was saying, I've got another sponsor for X hundreds of thousands of pounds, blah, 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 then the money's in, the budget's there, it's set. If you've got a head of finance knocking around, then you can make decisions, can't you, strategically, to say, well, we're not going to spend that, but we're going to spend this, or we're going to take money out of the transfer pot in January and we're going to put it in to the now pot. What's everyone's thoughts on that? So I'll start with you, Herb. Go on.
What, just about background staff in general?
Yeah. So do you think that's a bit of a symptom of us? Is the symptom of this the transfer saga going on because we haven't got the key people back of house doing the accountancy and the commercial winning the business coming in? With those parts missing, is that stalling the process, do you think, or is that
definitely? I mean, it could be that. It's from the outside, from the inside looking in. No, from the outside looking in. What it seems like is there's multiple reasons. There's like so many variables that are going wrong, and we just can't seem to get anything over the line. So the fact we don't have a head of finance, and the fact that I think Ninja Matt said weeks ago we were going to announce one, and we haven't. Just stuff like that just keeps us weighing, keeps us thinking, and then when we don't get it, fans go into meltdown. And like it's just expected. It happens with any football club that if you're promised something and you don't get it, fans are reactionary. It's a reactionary sport, and people do
emotive.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's probably a multitude of reasons that not having a head of finance, people not wanting to come down to Argyle signing wise, the fact we've had a shit start to the league, just all these multiple reasons are probably reasons why we're not getting the players that we think we should be getting.
In my little sort of world, we call these CNEs, critical non-essentials. So it's not like if you were doing a RACI model, so responsible, accountable, informed, consulted. I'm not saying that the head of finance is responsible or even accountable for the transfer market, but they certainly are informed and they're consulted on them, and therefore, if there is we need to spend another $500,000 to get Burrell in, for example, then having a head of finance there, he can put that into his cash flow statement and put that into his P&L statement and work out and amortize the fee over a number of years. You can say, yes, we can do that, or no, we can't. Gav has a rating, RACY, not RACI, but rather not REY. But anyway, good work. It's not that racy, but that can happen. If there isn't a head of finance there, you're going to the number 2 in the finance department, and you're saying, "Oh, can we afford them?" Well, no, I'll just report the numbers. So, all of this might be a reason for us not actually getting over the line and doing things as quickly as we possibly could be. That was kind of my point. Carl, opinion?
Yeah, I don't think it's obviously obvious that because we haven't got a head of finance, we're struggling financially to recruit players. So it kind of links quite nicely together, doesn't it? I don't know if we've got anyone in the background, like we had like Stuart Webber, like working part-time for us before David Fox and Tom Randall came in. He was working as a consultancy. Is that a possible thing with the finance situation or not? Someone must be running it.
According to the club, Stuart Webber's still on the end of the phone, right? So I think he's still. I think he might not be in the building, but I think he's still there on the fringes, giving moral support. But yeah, just Matt, if you're Ninja Matt, if you're in what as a finance person, would you be thinking that you need to be on the button, as it were, with the finance model to make sure we can amortize the fees over the right number of years, cash flow it adequately, except to give them that confidence to go and bid? Or do you think that the deal's done and it's off and running? So
different skill set, isn't it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is a different skill set deal. So yeah, I think that may be one of the reasons, and it was only just come to us this afternoon. Andy?
I'm going to get controversial. I'm going to say a lot of the stuff that's been talked about on X is probably hearsay, right? Talking about losing money for Folkestone Park and all that. So they haven't got enough to complete the Folkestone Park thing. I mean, I don't know how true that is. I don't really want to know how true that is. What I want to know is that we've got a club that's sustainable, that can play football at home park, and what goes on behind the scenes. Yes, of course it's important, but as Marcus knows, he loves the infrastructure. You've just you've got to sort of stop listening to all the sort of tittle tattle and hearsay that sometimes goes on X, because everyone forms their own opinion and thinks they just think what they want, really, don't they? They think, there must be the crisis.
Did you mean Harper's then, Andy, not Folkestone Park?
Harper's and Folkestone,
because they said they haven't got the financial clout to redevelop that site. Is that what Parkinson said?
But that was something that came up on. That was something that came up on X, but I think that's been reworded and saying, no, we're 3 million over budgeted on that. So again, it's that hearsay.
Well, it's fact. Again, if we had the regular updates from
exactly. So we're all guessing. That's the problem.
Nonsense to bed, wouldn't it? I remember from the forum, they're saying that like 80% of what you read on social media is nonsense in terms of the recruitment side. Well, it probably is for all of it, to be honest. But I think if there was those regular updates, video updates, whatever, I think that would give a lot of comfort to a lot of people.
You're just filling in the cracks as a fan base, aren't you? Because we've got no news, so you have to fill that silence with something, and it happens.
It's a narrative, isn't it? And some people choose to believe what's going on, what's not going on, and some people run off with their own narratives to suit their own. Sometimes their own likes on social media. It's as simple as that. But we'll see. But yeah, maybe we can pick this up again next week and see what's going on behind the scenes. But it'll be quite interesting to see if there is. I think Ninja Matt said that there was meant to be a head of finance appointed and was starting in a few days. I don't know what's happened there, but snail's pace is what I think what he put. But there we go. We shall always see. So yeah, let's have that one as a to be continued, shall we? So a bit like artist, Carl, do you want to take the screen, mate, and tell us what's going on in the world of our highlight sponsor?
Yeah, so obviously we've got the kit now for the under 15, for my son's team. So that's all been ordered, and now it's arrived. So the boys have their shirts for next season. I believe the season kicks off in September. So yeah, kit looks smart, and yeah, we'll try and get some regular updates on when the season starts, and putting up some scores and putting something on the website. I think Mike mentioned last time he was here. So yeah, there'll be regular updates on that.
Yeah, we'll have to have a Saturday night as well as our show. We'll have to have a little 2 minutes every week on the update of the score and who scored and where they are in the league table and stuff. That'd be
exactly
useful.
Exactly that.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. So final bits and pieces for us. So you've got the B team again on Saturday night. So we'll have to spend the Saturday evening putting together something for your entertainment, with Mike still being in the Bahamas or Bali or wherever he is. And padded cell, maybe. Yeah, we'll take the kids away. That happens, doesn't it? Let's be honest. So we will be live Saturday night at 8:30 p.m. in our regular Saturday night slot. For those who are travelling back on coaches, log in while you still get signal. That'll be handy. And then I have to do it, or else Michael absolutely brain me. New alert, new merch alert. So the new mug designs are ready to go, and they're ready on sale. I don't know if it's on the website yet. I haven't got time or inclination to check, but you can, which is block9.co.uk. The website's had a facelift, and I think the new game is imminently ready. Ninja Matt for your perusal of. I think it's going to be similar to like a Mario and Luigi type. Go through the land and conquer all your League One foes. So that'll be interesting, I'm sure, for those that like computers, which isn't me. But there we go. Spread the word. Give us a follow. Give us a like. Tell your friends. We're on all the usual channels. Yada yada yada. You can see them on the screen there. Instagram, X, YouTube, Blue Sky, which I keep forgetting about. I've got a content. I've never got it.
We've got an account there, obviously, but it's quite a slow burner on Blue Sky these days.
Yeah, we need Musk to do something really bad, and then there'll be a lot more migrating across. So that is kind of that tonight. I'll read out a few comments before we go, chaps. From randoms, Ninja Matt. We'll find out the accounts get qualified from the audit. I think that's referring to the amortization of the players and also the contractors with the overspend of the ground, of the training ground. Steve Cooper, I think the agents are calling the shots at the moment. Soon they'll be putting their prices down. No panic, guys. I think you're right, actually, on that basis. I think everyone's going to be there or thereabouts until the window starts to slam shut in their face, and then all of a sudden they want to move because their client's not going to get any football in the next 12 months, which will be interesting. What else have we got? Anything of interest, or is that about it? No, I think that's about it. We've covered everything else.
Another insult from Marcus there, telling me to get stuffed. I don't know what's going on here.
And just numbers tonight, because I know Mike will get upset at that. We've had about 1,000 people on tonight, which is absolutely staggering listening to our rants. So thank you very much for all of you that have taken the time to hide away from your wife and your kids on a Thursday evening to listen to our drones. We will be back on Saturday where we'll do it all again, and I'll have to be in the hot seat once more, which is a shame for you lot and for me, but we'll get through it together, I'm sure.
And keep an eye out as well, guys, for Tales from the Block and our regular news updates during the week as well.
And what about your TikTok lives, Andy, you got coming up next week for your...
Yep, so my TikTok lives, I normally do a Tuesday night. It's a League One, again, Ole live, which I go to all the details about League One. There's also mental health one I do on there as well, but that's not happened for a while. But League One, again, Ole.
Although, to be honest, if we lose on Saturday, you might be bringing back your mental health.
You might need a special live just for that.
And Herbs, are you doing any more? Are you doing any more reviews this season? I can't remember. Are you or not?
Yeah, I think I might be doing one for Lincoln, probably post match on the coach.
Yeah. And you can tune in on the way back on Saturday if you want and give us a little update.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be positive and not.
Yeah, we'll all be delirious with 3 points.
Yeah.
Right, gents, I've talked enough for anyone.
Done very well.
Thank you very much for everybody commenting in. It's been a joy to guide you through this morale of crap that we spout every week on Argyle. But there we go. See you all Saturday. Those that are travelling up, have a safe journey up and back. Those that aren't, don't VPN the game or don't use a dodgy Fire Stick. There you go. I've done my bit.
Bring back the 3 points.
We'll get 3
That's most
points.
important.
We'll see you all Saturday after the game. Thanks, chaps. Have a good evening.
Good night, all. Cheers, guys.